Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Wondering what's going on out there this week. I'm gonna look at some of these what's the vibe cards for a look at the week. December, first week of December. Today's the 4th. We're having a full moon today, which is pretty kind of intense. Gemini moon. The sun is Sagittarius, so there's that polarity. But it's about communication and sharing ideas and coming to an integration between what we think we know, what we know, and what we need to learn or explore. So let's look at some of these cards for this week. What's the vibe? What's the vibe this week? I guess I need to specify in America because you can't look at the whole world like that, but in America. Upheaval, chaos. It seems like that's what's coming out of the administration. Well, people are co-creating that. Yeah, the need for harmony and balance. It's a good one. Yep, that's what we want, or we're wanting out of the chaos that's been going on. What's the vibe this week for America, USA? Maybe feeling resentful or envious of others, or there's a lot of competition going on. Just thinking about Marjorie Taylor Greene this morning. I woke up, I'm like, I wonder if she's really going to do anything different. There is protection from harm, Archangel Michael. So if this is something to do with any kind of wars that Trump is starting to get us into, or that we are into, but in a slight way, things are like a gamble right now, or the nightlife, or people are taking a risk or gamble. Protection. There's dark forces, and then there's forces of balance, forces of resentment, what others have, what others don't have. The gamble, like going to Vegas, maybe overspending. We all need to slow down, smell the roses. There could be some divine intervention that's going to happen. I'm not sure what this is really specifying, but in general, moving out of the chaos, finding our balance, asking for divine protection. And I think a warning against partying too much, like the Vegas life. Or maybe for some people, they just want to go to Vegas and blow it all. Maybe. Okay, let's look at things in a different light here for December. I always like to do the horoscope reading for the houses. Again, this is the USA. The USA chart shows this strong Jupiter, Mercury energy right now, going back and forth. The 8th house. It has to do with our debt, but it also has to do with expansion, good or bad, of resources. 8th house is about the resources, spending more time with finding new avenues for resources. And no big change until I think the spring. But let's see if these cards indicate something more about. There's a square between Uranus and the United States moon right now, and that's the tension or the erratic energy or the tension we may all be feeling here. So Saturn is coming, it's moving forward now out of Pisces, probably for another month, I think. So we'll see how that changes. Connection with Mercury right now. It's a trine. And then it's not until the spring that it's going to start hitting the north node of the United States, which is in Leo, in the Western chart, tropical chart. So, the other major thing is that the nodes are going to move into Aquarius next year, coming close to the United States moon. So there's going to be some major shifts in the spring of 2026. I can speak to that right now. But with Mars over the ascendant here in Sagittarius, US chart, that's a strong impetus for maybe boasting or being reckless, being rash. That's the way we have to think about the administration, because they're the ones that are at the helm here. So let's just look at some cards for, let's see how I can do this. First house, second house, USA, third, be the fourth, fifth, sixth. We'll do the first 6 houses, and I'll talk about what they represent as we go through, using the mini weight deck. Some cards may be right side up or upside down, but that's indicative of the energy. So let's begin with the first house being the south, looking outwards for some kind of opportunity. So, we do see the administration looking out at the world and wanting to make their mark upon it. So there's still this movement forward. Second house of money, resources. It looks like investigations going on with regarding the second house of money, resources. There'll be investigations, or also strong women coming forward. And for me, this is like the new Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is a Gemini, and this card rules Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. The moon in the United States chart is in Aquarius, so there's some kind of strong messages, justice coming about our money, our resources, or what's really going on with the reserve, the Fed, the reserve. And the third house of communications is the Three of Wands, but it's upside down. So that means that there is a sense of things are not quite being communicated in a way that things come together. I'll leave that there right now. However, in the fourth house, U.S. chart is the Pentacle, some kind of new beginning there, Kind of makes me think of, all the renovations that Trump is doing to the White House, or there'll be some new deals that come out of the White House, money-making deals, new new look, new project. The fourth house being the home, that's the land. Fifth house is the Queen of Cups. Something is hidden regarding speculations, hidden information. Somehow I'm picking up this is to do with children, or the revealing around the Epstein stuff and the children or the young people. Also, I feel like education. The closing down the federal education programs. But still, the information is hidden. Something is hidden about the taking care of the children, or taking care, because the Queen of Cups is a nurturing card. If it's right side up, would be positive, but it came up upside down, and we know that they've been shutting down the educational system. Sixth house of work, service, still not a very supportive energy for new beginnings or projects, or there's a general dissatisfaction with the work in the country, with what employees, labor. There's a dissatisfaction in what's being offered by this administration. So December may also be dissatisfied, not satisfying in terms of what we give to one another. This being the month of wanting to have gifts and celebrations, and so far I'm not seeing that in the cards. Let's look at 7 through 12, United States chart. So the seventh house of relationships, we look at ourselves and others, will correspond to the first house, 2 of Wands. What is that? I think people are expecting some kind of charity or aid, whether it's like from the government, or poor people getting money from the rich people, or charity that's being offered. But on the world stage, it could also mean that we get some kind of guidance from other countries during this time about how to balance ourselves, how to work with the economy. All right, let's look at the 8th house of resources. Oh, I see. So the 7th house of also how we go to other countries and say, okay, we'll help you out, like Venezuela. Oh, we'll help you out. We'll manage the oil wells. We'll mine the diamonds or whatever the minerals. We'll give you a helping hand. Yeah, that's probably what that means. Now that I think of it, comparison to the first house, which is the way we're going out there, the U.S. government, that is, this administration, with that message of true or false, or is it just another sleight of hand about helping other countries get on their feet? Whoops, the 8th house has the 9 of Swords here. It's a lot of anxiety, conflict of what's going on. People in fear about what's happening. The 8th house, resources. I think this also has to do with ICE showing up to people's houses who've been here, legal or not legal, under the auspices of the Steve Miller program. And then we have that paired with Queen of Swords. Justice. Will there be justice? Will we see justice in a democratic process and a democratic process, I should say? But I think too that this the 9 of swords in the 8th house has to do with people waking up and not feeling good about what we're doing as a country. Let's look at the 9th house of higher learning, foreign travel, foreigners, foreign relations. And the South Node is going through that right now in the chart. So that means that we're reviewing old commitments, ways in which we serve other countries. Yeah, that's not good. So we get the Knight of Cups upside down, which is about double talk, not reliable, not living up to our promises. And we couple that with the 3rd house of not communicating very well with the foreign countries, with our partners, with NATO. Yeah, NATO's coming down again. Not supporting NATO, or speaking out of both sides of their mouth, the administration. Marco Rubio. So that doesn't look that great either. Things are just looks like they're going to continue to be the mess and the chaos that we saw in the other cards. And we're all worried about that. So let's look at the 10th house of career. That's a lot of fighting and backstabbing and backbiting and competitive interests. Couple that with the 4th house of some kind of business deal. Rather than positive competition, that could represent a negative. The 5 of Wands upside down. I'll pause this for a minute. So we have contradictions and adversity. The way we're communicating. Excuse me. So there is that, again, the dissatisfaction. 10th house being the career of the country and ruled by Leo, which is leadership. Our cusp of the, whoops, that's the 9th and 10th. So, yeah, the 9th is the leadership, and then the 10th is justice. So, Libra energy in the chart of the United States. Oops. Nope. 4 of Wands upside down. And that usually represents the White House, so it doesn't look there. The things are topsy-turvy, they're upside down. It's like living in the upside down world. Over at the White House, everything's being torn apart, literally and figuratively. I'm going to pair that with the Queen of Cups upside down, so not reliable information. Or they're not really renovating it to support the structure, or hasn't been completed, something like that. And I don't know much about that renovation project, but not looking good in the cards. And then there's the Wheel of Fortune for the 11th house. For the 12th house. Yeah, for the 12th house. So we're not really moving forward in a positive way. and it paired with the fifth house here, the sixth house of people not feeling satisfied with what's going on. So lack of satisfaction, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. So that's the 12 houses of the chart for December. Things can change, of course, as we're looking at it today. So there can be some other events that change things. I want to look and see if there's going to be any like marches or protests or celebrations, the general mood of the people here, maybe would be the way to look at what would be the general mood of the population in the U.S. this December around the holidays. Can't believe only 33% of the people like Trump. Are they the ones that voted for him? Because it looks like they're maybe the only ones that believe in his agenda. And maybe people got like hoodwinked into thinking that they would make more money if he's at the helm, and he's not a very generous man. I don't know where they got that idea. Hopefully the end of the illusions will come when Neptune goes into Aries next year in the spring, and Saturn. So February 2026 will bring big shift and change. And then later by May or June, Uranus goes into Gemini. That's where I saw like they were rewriting or trying to rewrite the Constitution or amend it or something going on with that. So let's just look at the general energy right now with the population here, regular folks. For December, the holidays, will they be spending? Will they be going into debt? Or will they be okay, frugal? May or may not work out. 7 of Swords. May or may not work out is all I can see right now. Like maybe some people's plans will have to change. But we are moving out of Mercury retrograde still. Just should be picking up speed by Saturday or Sunday. And Saturn also. So it'll be like more forward moving energy. Yeah, I think people are going to want to invest their money. Some may profit from real estate, generally speaking, or better money management programs, whatever that means, because that's the long-term view around money, finances, and here's the plans. So we got some new plans coming up for that. New plans, or maybe the Fed will release some kind of new information about, excuse me, interest. Yeah, there'll be something new about interest, money, and finances that we're going to look at some new projects here. People will be feeling, some people looks like they're going to be feeling some kind of initiative. Who are these people? Some will be wait and see what happens. Holding back on new investments might be if they're real estate investments, because some of these plans may not work. 7 of Swords. So this theme is about real estate or investments. December. Yeah, not to rush out and change everything at once. Knight of Swords is a destructive card, meaning like be patient rather than being rash, or don't go to war. If you maybe this is about the war machine too, because people make money when there's war. The people who invest in all those armaments and anyways, or the warmongers. And someone here emerges again, this King of Cups. Um, some maybe more democratic voices emerge. Want to take care of our democracy? Is that what that means? Yeah, possibly looking over at this money cards keep coming up. So I'm thinking about the Federal Reserve, the somebody steal. There's a thief card, the money that we put into our government through our taxes. And is there going to be some kind of information about the swindle of this administration, or the swindlers in government? Yeah, some kind of new truth will emerge. That's interesting. New truth will emerge. Still, where's the holiday spirit? That's what I want to know. What happened to the holiday spirit? People want to go and shop and share and make things and buy things and eat things and visit one another and travel. Everything that happens in December, right? So 3 cards on the festivities. Let's look at it that way. Will there be festivities for USA? Festivities. Mhm. Yes, go with the flow. We'll be moving out of difficulties, the tension, the headaches, the fears. Be moving through the difficult waters. But go with the flow, go how you feel, and open up to new possibilities. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. Again, things can change. Things are not written in stone, but from this perspective, there could be some better days ahead. I think in the spring, though, for sure. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel. We'll see you on the next one.